Ladies and gentlemen, based on CNN's calculation, in an article titled Why Republicans Are Favored to Take Back the Senate, November 21st, 2021, Republicans have a 75% chance to take back and to control the Senate. They have an even greater chance, by the way, to control the House. They're almost certainly going to get the Senate. They will get the House. They will control Congress with Trump Republicans. They're going to investigate mashed potato brains. Okay, President Exhumed Body. They're going to investigate him, his wonderful son, the artist / energy oil and gas consultant, and everyone else associated with the Durham probe. So the Durham probe special counsel is going to get a huge boost in terms of support. And that's what I've been saying for years now. I said, look, the Durham probe was started by William Barr. There was zero media support, practically zero. I was writing about it, and about 5 or 6 other people were really focused on it. But other than that, and more so than I was, other than that, really media didn't touch it because it completely unraveled the absurd, fabricated hoax and narrative that Trump was installed by another country. Media didn't want to touch the Durham probe. Republicans, never Trump Republicans, who were still influential within the within the Republican Party, didn't want to touch the Durham probe. Why? Because Republicans like Paul Ryan and others, Richard Burr, they benefited from utilizing the Durham probe to kind of keep Trump at bay. For really, it undermined their chances at re-election, but for some reason, they felt that they gained enough attention, enough positive or favorable coverage from media, like Mitt Romney, for example, and you're seeing the extreme cases in Adam Kinzinger and Liz Cheney. They know that they can't, they're no longer relevant within the GOP. And by the way, I'm a lifelong Democrat, or I was. I'm not affiliated with any political party anymore. I'm not a Republican, I'm not a Democrat. Trump Republicans are the best choice. Now, never Trump Republicans, not the Democratic Party. Trump Republicans. 20 years ago, the epicenter of corruption was the Bush Republican Party. That was the epicenter of corruption. Fox News was the most, detrimental or harmful propaganda machine 20 years back. Now all of those people have become the Lincoln Project and morphed into Bill Kristol, morphed into the Democratic Party. Now the epicenter of corruption in politics in America is the Democratic Party. MSNBC, CNN, and all the wonderful journalists who pushed the absurd, false, baseless claims that Trump was installed or that Trump could have been installed by a hostile nation. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. We are almost at 200,000 subscribers, ladies and gentlemen. Word of mouth is the absolute best thing you could do for me. If you enjoy my work, if you enjoy this channel, if you want more of these videos, if you want this channel to grow, word of mouth is the best thing. Tell people that you know who might enjoy my YouTube channel. Hit subscribe also to the Stock Market Crash channel. Let's get to 200,000 subs, ladies and gentlemen, on this channel. Read my article in The Federalist predicting the financial calamity we're facing and the stock market crash that we're seeing in slow motion, and we're eventually going to face the stock market crash that I predicted in The Federalist, a devastating, devastating stock market crash. But hit subscribe and tell your friends about this channel. Ladies and gentlemen, the Durham probe got no media support, got no support from the Republican Party. Now you have Trump Republicans taking over the House and Senate. There won't be Adam Kinzingers and Liz Cheney's voting alongside Trump 90% of the time, over 90% of the time, and then saying, oh, they don't like his personality. They don't like Trump's personality. Trump was a fantastic president. This is like a fact. He was a great president. If you just judge the president based on economic growth, the economy, foreign policy achievements, he was a fantastic president. We had gas at less than $3. We had inflation at 2%, less than 2%. We had wonderful economic growth. We had hundreds of thousands of manufacturing jobs. Okay, we had wage growth that wasn't undermined or cut by inflation. We had the Doha Agreement. Trump single-handedly reversed U.S. foreign policy. Biden completely botched that, and those 13 Americans should be alive today, and those over 100 Afghans should be alive today. That's what happens when Biden utilizes the T-ban as security outside the only airport he leaves open. It was completely haphazard, completely disorganized. He didn't know what he was doing. He doesn't know. President Mashed Potato Brains doesn't know what he's doing, okay? Our commander-in-chief, President Exhumed Body, doesn't know what's happening. He's told what to do, and he governs through media. He has no vision. He thinks he can blame what's taking place under his watch in Europe right now, one of the most devastating moments in European history, under his tenure. So don't tell, you have all these ideologues, these hilarious, these people are like the biggest propagandists on the planet. They're saying that thank God that we have Biden, because, oh my God, if we had Trump during this moment. It's happening under the watch and the tenure of Democrats. There are reasons for this, okay? I don't think the people suffering right now in Kiev are saying, gee, thank God that Biden is president. They're saying that they're trying to survive, and they're battling for their lives, and God bless them. But this is taking place under Mashed Potato Brains. It wouldn't have taken place under Trump. Why? Because he would have negotiated a deal that said, okay, you won't join the alliance, North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Okay, I'm trying to be as friendly as possible in terms of you know what. Okay, so I try to convey my thoughts as algorithmically friendly as possible, but, you know, Trump would have negotiated a deal saying, okay, let's make sure that there is no invasion, but you then state categorically that you won't join the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, and then you get some concessions from Vladimir. Biden would never have done that. He didn't do that. Jake Sullivan, Clapper, or Blinken, they wouldn't do that. Anyway, the point is the Durham probe exists and will expand once Trump Republicans take the House and Senate alongside other investigations. All they're going to do for the next 4 years is investigate Mashed Potato Brains, his son, and every Democrat associated or indicted or associated with indicted people within the Durham probe. What took place is projection. For 4 years, 5 years, they said he was installed by Vladimir. Well, Vladimir doesn't really care about anything. He could care less what Democrats... he doesn't care about a Democrat in the Oval Office. He's actually engaging in every national security or his primary national security objective. It's wrong, it's unjust, but that it's happening under, like, while Democrats are in office. Just like high gas prices, just like China preparing to invade Taiwan, which I've been saying for a long time. Our adversaries are looking at President Exhumed Body saying, okay, now is the time. The U.S. economy is weakened beyond repair. We have inflation at close to 10%. We have gas prices approaching $6, $7, $8 in some locations. We have zero economic growth first quarter 2022. Tell me if Trump's tweets, if you're a liberal Democrat and you stumbled upon this channel, are you better off? Are you better off? And can you name one of the hundreds of bills that was passed or that were written by Democrats? Can you name any bill, any major legislation passed by Democrats, aside from funding because of you know what? What Democrats did 2 years ago is they tanked the U.S. economy because of you know what. Then they said, well, we tanked the U.S. economy, but don't fear, we're here. We'll give you money, fiscal stimulus, monetary stimulus, $10 trillion. But we're going to help you. But you tanked the economy. You pushed to end the U.S. economy, and then you claim victory. Then you claim to be moral and wonderful when you give money to people You wouldn't allow work? And don't say it was Trump. Yeah, he acquiesced for a month, but it was Democrats and media. It's too soon. Washington Post, too soon, too soon. And then they wouldn't talk about the president's son's laptop. Gee, I wonder why. They converge. Media converges and circles the wagons and does not allow any story to break if it's detrimental to the Democratic Party. The main reason that we can talk about the Durham probe is because it's an actual special counsel. I'm sure if the Durham probe was not a special counsel, they'd try desperately to make sure every algorithm, every voice was silenced about the Durham probe. But it is a special counsel, just like Mueller. There's no way to suppress dialogue or discussion or speech about a special counsel, a Department of Justice special counsel. And so 3 people have been indicted already. But you have to look at the future here, the near future. Midterms are around the corner. We're going to experience a devastating stock market crash prior to then. But midterms are around the corner. We'll have the House and Senate in Trump Republican hands. You could have Kevin McCarthy as Speaker of the House, or you could have Donald Trump as Speaker of the House, or you should have Jim Jordan or Devin Nunes. Kevin McCarthy's good, but Jim Jordan and Devin Nunes would be great. And then, of course, they accuse Jim Jordan of something he never did. But to them, you have to understand something. To Democrats, because they're so utterly corrupt, because they're so mortified that they actually have emails that point directly to their corruption, like the DNC emails, Hunter's, all of that stuff, that if they were actually investigated, just, with a special counsel or any congressional probe, which you're going to have impeachment, Biden's going to get impeached, okay, numerous times, very likely, from those emails, you would find criminal activity. You're already finding criminal activity, the Durham probe. They can't indict Trump, but you could have indicted Clinton. But Comey said, no, she didn't intend to do it. Nobody said, gosh, Trump didn't intend to work with Vladimir. The system, there's 2 levels or 2 scales of justice. Okay, it's a 2-tiered system. Media and the Justice Department always go to bat for Democrats. They tried desperately to pin Trump, to get him on something they can't. Now, however, you're going to have media support, greater media support. You're going to have Trump Republicans in the House and the Senate, and you're going to have the political will in D.C. change. Politics in D.C. will change a bit. And the best thing for Trump, in a way, was losing. I mean, it makes no sense, but it was almost the best thing to happen to Trump. You get a renewed political party that is a Trump Republican political party. They think Trump is an authoritarian. They don't know what an authoritarian is. They like to silence debate and discourse. They like to accuse everyone of heresy and blasphemy and treasonous behavior. They're completely apoplectic, like the wonderful, morally superior liberal Democrat. Ask yourself if you know that person's personality. It's completely apoplectic almost always, especially when it comes to politics. It's their religion, but they can't point to a success. They've failed in every investigation against Trump. They can't find anything he did. They have media and the political will to indict him, but they can't. In many cases, because any indictment would lead directly to them. Okay, I'm not even going to get into that. But they can't indict Trump. They can't point to legislation that Americans love. They have accomplished nothing. AOC came in with Medicare for all. Now she's just basically another type of Nancy Pelosi. And so what have they accomplished? Nothing. In terms of investigations, which is really what they focused on, they haven't found anything. They've had egg on their face. They've been mortified every 2 seconds. The worst moment in European history in decades is taking place while they're in office, while Biden's in office. And what do they have to show for 4 years of rule or governing of the House and the Senate? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And never Trump Republicans are done. The Adam Kinzinger, Liz Cheney, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, AOC, media apparatus, Bernie Sanders. I used to be the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet, according to the Huffington Post. I was the unofficial scribe of Sanders' most hardcore voters, according to the Washington Post. I know the racket. I've seen it with my own eyes. It is a racket. It's a public relations monstrosity. Bernie Sanders was cheated. Okay, and do you know who stated those words today on the entire planet? There's only one person, me. Nobody on this planet has said Bernie Sanders was cheated today. I did. Not that anyone cares. But he was cheated. And you know what he said? Nothing. Then Elizabeth Warren said that Bernie said a woman couldn't win. Oh, thanks, Lizzie. Thanks a lot for your friendship and support. Yet again, you've undermined me and betrayed my trust. All they do is cheat Bernie Sanders, and he goes to bat for them because it's a racket. And then he says and then he says, I don't want Vladimir's help. And they accuse Tulsi Gabbard and Tucker Carlson and Trump and anyone online of being an operative of another country. Do you understand how mindless these people are? They don't have any critical thinking skills. So it comes as a huge surprise and shock to them that, they set up and framed Trump. Actually, Trump is the victim. They can't possibly see that because they're part of who they are as human beings is opposing Trump. But really, they undermine democracy. They use these buzzwords that the Lincoln Project have redefined. Democracy. This country is helping to fight democracy. No, you're utilizing a country to battle an adversary without ever really considering the suffering that's taking place. And you've redefined democracy as anything that works for Democrats. And you've set up and framed Trump, and you silenced any dissent or debate about any topic. And the only thing Democrats have is media and loyalists within government. That's it. Their ideas stink. Their ideas don't resonate with people without an ironclad grip on social media and what people can hear and say. And we've seen that with the New York Post being vindicated. Without a stranglehold on information, they wither away as a political party. So the Durham probe right now, they don't really care what it is. You'll see what takes place. Media will try desperately to undermine Durham, to disparage him, all of those things. More indictments take place, and higher up, people like James Comey. But he has the goods on everybody, so who knows? The closer it gets to Comey, the worse it is for Madam Secretary and Clinton and that campaign. But I want a rematch between Trump and Clinton. We need a rematch. I'm all for a rematch between Clinton and Trump. I would be the happiest person on planet Earth. You might say, what are you talking about? You've written so much about top secret intelligence on private servers. I mean, how did Clinton transfer that? You know what? I don't care about that anymore. I mean, I do, but I'll overlook that. Have Clinton run again. Hey, she's the best candidate they have. Of course, I would vote for Trump a million times over, but Clinton is the best candidate they have. Think about it. President exhumed body is, if not the worst, one of the worst presidents of all time. Probably, I would say second after George W. Bush, who was the worst president of all time. By far, Bush and President Mashed Potato Brains are the worst two presidents. Okay? But we need Clinton versus Trump. We need that to happen. There needs to be a rematch. The country's been through too much. And it's all because of the shock and surprise and the embarrassment that Democrats and media and the establishment had in 2016. Because they could not stand losing, they plunged the country into endless turmoil. What what Clapper and Brennan and Comey and the Washington Post and New York Times and MSNBC and CNN and Jimmy Kimmel and all of these people did is they ripped and tore family bonds, familial bonds, friendships. And this is not actually, they didn't tear, so it's not really 100% their fault. They utilized weak-willed, morally superior, wonderful liberal Democrats who have personality flaws. The personality, character flaws, the character traits. A person who has a flawed character says politics is enough for me to disown a friend or family member. Okay? When you hear people, and I've seen it in my own life, when people say, I can't be your friend anymore, that is a testament to their flawed character. Nothing to do with you. You have every right to vote for Green Party, Trump, Biden, anybody. And there are always moral reasons for your decision. But when a person says, I won't be your friend anymore, I can't speak to you anymore, because of politics, they're highlighting a flaw, a major personality and character flaw, a lack of integrity, and other issues. But the Comeys and the Clappers of the world and the intrepid journalists who help spread this nonsense at wonderful publications. Oh, there's such beautiful, amazing publications. Really wonderful Mother Jones, other wonderful publications. BuzzFeed, great publications. They helped foster this political climate where you have morally superior liberals who truly believe with their heart and soul that Trump was installed by another country. And that he said both sides. And he really meant it. That also is a hoax. An absurd, he wasn't giving a subliminal to this block of voters to vote for him. No, he literally stated, and those people should be condemned. I'm not referring to those people. But see, again, you have, if they don't have myths about Trump, they just have a mean or rude sometimes orange-haired president who had a great economy and a great foreign policy. How do you foment widespread discontent with that? Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. The Durham probe is almost like a cultural phenomenon that most people haven't seen yet. And we're going to see endless investigations of truly corrupt people. Give me your thoughts.